Hello everyone, in a previous video I showed you that my Corsair H100i, the original H100i, which was based on QLED design, not the newer Asetek based designs, well, this had failed. It's been long enough, so I'm not blaming Corsair for this, but yeah, I thought it would be interesting to tear this down and see what went wrong. Yeah, I like tearing things apart when things like that happen. I have no intentions of recovering this. It's probably not fixable anyway, but yeah, I think it will be interesting. So yeah, let's, I guess, begin. I'll say these aren't really tight. I expected these to be tighter. I tore down regular custom loop water cooling blocks before, and they tend to be a lot tighter than this, but I guess this works, so that's not a big deal, I guess. And you can see that the fluid is starting to leak. This actually does have a fill port here, so technically if the problem was only the liquid was running low, I could fill it from there, but I really don't think that's the issue, because there are no signs of liquid getting out whatsoever, and evaporation alone wouldn't make an immediate change in the performance, and the change, as I said, was immediate. So yeah, this has to be with something to do with mechanical parts, the pump maybe, I don't know. But here is the CPU cooler plate. Oh, you can see a decent amount of clogging in there. I assume this radiator is aluminum. They usually do that to cheap out on these AIOs, it's common practice. But that also means that these water cooling parts are susceptible to galvanic corrosion. That's why in custom loop water cooling, the radiators are made out of copper as well. Of course, there are additives they use to delay this, but you know, it's inevitable, so it happens. And yeah, as you can see, the channels are pre-blocked, and there's also some other gunk, like this is green, but we also have some blue gunk here as well. Maybe that's just a different color of the corrosion, but maybe it's some organic buildup as well, I don't know. And not much else to see on this side. As I said, I'm not planning on reviving this thing, so we might as well completely tear it apart. So this is the top part. This was the selling feature back in the day, the Corsair link integration, which for those of you who weren't following the scene back then, they rebranded that to IQ whenever the RGB crap started coming out. But this was also RGB, but you know, it wasn't you know, the rainbow colors all over the place we see today. So it's just a clear plastic cap with shiny, unfortunately, black paint and some magnets. And in here we have the PCB. I'm surprised to see that that's actually a black PCB, but I mean, it doesn't cost that much more, but you know, manufacturing on a scale, it still matters. So it's interesting to see that they went with a black PCB. Actually, before I remove this, let's look at what this has. So here we have a USB connector. That's again for the Corsair Link, aka IQ. Honestly, don't remember what this was for, but these weird proprietary connectors, they are for fan control. So each of them split into two 4-pin PWM fan headers, and yeah, you can control your radiator fans through the software using those. But then again, it's the distributor. We don't deal with Corsair directly here. So yeah. There's some strain relief on the cable here, and this is the cable that you plug to plug to SATA power, and the motherboard header for the RPM monitoring. And below that, I just ripped these off, but hopefully you can see them. These are just very thin copper wires, and they go into the pump here. So I don't know if it is possible to tear this down further. Trying to see if there is another screw somewhere, but I think, yeah, it's just this off. And here is the rotor design. It's still rotating fairly smoothly, considering that this is supposed to be lubricated by fluid. So yeah, without fluid these pumps damage themselves, because when there's no fluid there's no lubrication. So yeah, considering that fact, I think this is still fairly smooth. But obviously something went wrong, and I think, as I showed you, I think it has to do with the clogging in here. But the change did happen suddenly, so what I'm thinking is some sort of a build-up somewhere got loose and jammed itself into the cold plate, and that's what changed. Over time I did see the performance of this unit decrease, so yeah, it was slowly building up for sure, but the change to the ridiculousness was like immediate. It's not something that happened over time. So I'm assuming, as I said, that they came from the radiator. Now there is no way for me to tear the radiator apart, I guess, other than dremeling, but yeah, I spilled a lot of this fluid on the table, of course. But yeah, I guess we know what happened. So yeah, it's the probably galvanic corrosion or some sort of organic buildup, but I'm leaning towards galvanic corrosion. So yeah, I think, at least for me, this was interesting. I don't know about you, but yeah, I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please leave me a like down below, and thanks for watching.